Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? So, I know this isn't heavyweight boxing, but I still want to give my opinion about this fight because it's an intriguing fight. And like all, other non-heavyweight fights, if it intrigued me or there's intriguing fighters that I pay attention to, I'm going to do a video on it. Just wanted to give my opinion about this Triple G versus Kell Brook fight, okay? Now, let me start off by saying this. I'm going to watch the fight. I'm not going to pretend like I ain't watching that shit. No, I'm going to watch the fight. Trust me, you know what I mean? I'm going to watch it. Kell Brook, undefeated fighter, was a titleist at welterweight. Was he by far the number one welterweight, bar none, hands down? I can't answer that question. I'm not sure. I didn't see him fight Keith Thurman. I didn't see him fight Vargas. I didn't see him fight Garcia. I didn't see it. Now, could you possibly favor him over those guys? Yeah, you could favor him if you want to, but I'm not sure he's better than those guys. So, and then I was looking at the the size, as far as the height, the reach. It's about the same, give or take an inch or two here and there. Uh, the weight difference, I thought I seen something. Somebody was telling me that Kell Brook weighs what, like 162 on fight night or something. Or on fight night, they're going to be around the same weight regardless. Okay, so I will say that Triple G is not this huge middleweight. He's not 6'3", on fight, he's on fight night, he's not going to come in weighing 190 pounds. Okay, so he's not the hugest middleweight. All right, so those are things that I noticed. Okay, but the comparisons I'm seeing in comment sections, I'm seeing people compare this fight. And for some reason, man, now this isn't me. This is just a response to just comments that I'm seeing. People are just, it's something with Triple G and Hopkins. It's like this comparison that fans are just comparing these two. And I understand it. Hopkins was the last great middleweight, and the newer guy is Triple G right now. So I understand Hopkins was the last era before this. So I understand why fans want to compare the two. There's nothing wrong with that, man. This is boxing. We're always going to do this as fans. You know what I mean? Back in the 90s, we were comparing guys to the 80s, so on and so forth. But I'm a big believer in, it's easy to look at things in hindsight, right? And say, well, this is just like Tito versus Hopkins, ain't it? I mean, it's the same thing. He moved up from welterweight and fought a middleweight. It's the same thing. He's undefeated and he's undefeated. Yeah, but no, it's not the same. That I remember that Hopkins versus Tito fight, and I've actually done a video on this already. And I was at a fight party, man, and I remember that clear as day. I wasn't a little kid. I wasn't 7 when that shit happened. I was in my 20s when that happened, man. And I remember that clear as day. I remember the feel around the boxing world and reading the boxing magazines and looking at ESPN. I remember the feel. Tito was supposed to run through Bernard Hopkins. Tito was a 3-1 betting favorite. Whether you don't give a damn about betting favorites, whether you think it's rigged, okay, that's fine. But you can't have it both ways, though, man. I mean, he was the betting favorite. Tito did unify at 147. He did unify at 154. He did have a middleweight title that he got off of Joppy in destructive fashion, a part of that Don King middleweight tournament with HBO. These are supposed to be showcase fights for Tito. He was supposed to beat Bernard Hopkins. He was a favorite, 3-1. And then he was supposed to fight Roy Jones Jr. in a mega fight. They were going to meet at 168. Now, whether you don't remember or you think I'm lying, go back and just research it, man. Nobody has to lie about this. But that was the feeling surrounding Tito going into his fight with B-Hop. Okay. Now, the feeling with Brook going into this fight with GGG, he's going to get decapitated. That's the feeling, right? So 20 years from now, when we say, 25 years from now, when we're talking to a 20-year-old fight fan, we're not going to lie to him and say, yeah, man, going into that. Now, let's say Brook wins. We're not going to lie to the guy and say, yeah, going into that, Brook Triple G fight, people thought Brook was going to win. I mean, now, are there some people out there that possibly thought, and I was one of them, that thought Hopkins was going to beat Tito that night? Yes, I was one of them. But I was one of very few. I was in that fight party. I remember that fight party. I was the only one in the fight party. It was like probably about 12 of us. I was the only one that believed Hopkins was going to win. You know what I mean? So, and it was me being a Hopkins fan too, though. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep it real. It was me being a Hopkins fan, but I had doubt that Tito was going to just land on him, man. Tito looked very destructive, man. He did. You know what I mean? And B Hop got it done. I was rooting for B Hop though, but there was some concern there. You know, so like I said, man, it's easy to look at things at hindsight. Hopkins whooped him, so it's easy to say, "Oh yeah, I knew Hopkins was going. I just knew he was going to win." Again, you probably did think that, but a lot of fans thought that Tito was going to run through him, man. That's just what it is. We can't change that, man. We can't. We can't change it. You know what I'm saying? So this isn't the same thing as that. Like maybe uh there's some other fights that you can use. Like I suggested this is more kind of like Brook versus Triple G was when Marlon Starling moved up to fight Michael Nunn. Now, I thought Starling is a way all-time great, more of an all-time great welterweight than Kell Brook, hands down. But I'm just talking about as far as moving up directly from middleweight. And I believe if I remember that Starling fought Nunn 7 months before that, he was a welterweight. So within a 7 month span, he moved right up to middleweight and fought Nunn, lost, and then he dropped back down and fought, I believe, Maurice Blocker, and he lost in a close fight. If I believe that's how it went. You know, so to me, that's a better example than trying to just do this whole B Hop versus Triple G thing, and then you're not even putting things in their proper context, man. Like you got to put it in its proper context. You got to, man. I looked at the betting odds today. Triple G opened up as a 7-1. This is the slimmest betting odds he's had since the odds opened up with what's dude's name, man? Curtis Stevens, and I believe that was 6-1 or 8-1, 6-1. I know it was close. It was similar to these odds, and then as the fight approached, I believe the odds got higher, and I think it was like 15-1 or something like that. And you can, and there's different betting websites, but that was like kind of where the odds were, so. And then even during that Tito versus Hopkins during the telecast of the pay-per-view, I remember they had an AOL. They had the fans vote in who they think was going to win. I believe Tito had like a landslide of fans rooting for him. It was like 70 something percent of the viewers thought that Tito was going to win. Now some may say, "Oh, it was popularity." It's like, okay, but we can't have it both ways though, man. Was it popularity or did people really think he was going to whoop his ass? Like, which is it? He was a 3-1 betting favorite. It was a showcase fight. I wish I had Don King around to ask him, because this is supposed to just be Tito running through this middleweight tournament. It was designed for him to win. He wasn't some fucking pedestrian welterweight that just moved up. Kell Brook hasn't proven to me that he doesn't have any. He didn't unify anything. Trinidad did. He's an all-time great. People are trying to put Brook up here like he's some all-time great welterweight. He's a very solid welterweight for right now. He's a title holder. Those are facts. But he hasn't unified with anybody or went on this long historic run, or no, he hasn't, man. I don't even feel comfortable even putting him with Marlon Starling, but to me, that's more of a comparison because literally Starling went from welterweight, then a 7 month span went right up to middleweight. No junior middleweight fights in between. It was literally a welterweight fight, middleweight fight. Not a 5-year span or a 3-year gap. No, it was literally like a 7 month span. So it was pretty much the welterweight fight. He trained, got in there with Michael Nunn. And I don't even feel comfortable putting Brook name alongside Marlon Starling. But to me, that's a better comparison than this Tito and Hopkins thing that people keep talking about. Even the De La Hoya thing, it's like, yeah, but you're also missing out the part that De La Hoya fought at 154, I believe, 3 or 4 fights? And then he fought Felix Sturm, a fight that I thought he lost, though, man. I thought he lost that fight. I really did, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought Felix Sturm beat De La Hoya. You know what I mean? But then De La Hoya got the nod, and then he fought Hopkins after that. It wasn't like he was at 147 and then moved right up to fight Hopkins the very next fight. So you got to put things in its proper context. Now, as far as this fight goes, I like Triple G, man. And I understand. I came to the realization that not just Triple G, but with any of these popular fighters, if you have anything, even if it's just constructive criticism or you're trying to just break things down, you can't say nothing negative, because if you do, you're a hater. I didn't hear you say that about Marvin Hagler. People start saying, I didn't hear you say that about Jake LaMotta. Even though I'm 36, people just start saying shit from like the 50s and 40s. I didn't hear you say that about this guy. It's like, well, that has nothing to do with this. You know what I mean? I wasn't even born then, but I'm going to watch the fight. Think it's intriguing. Brook was a very strong welterweight, so I expect for him to be in shape. He's always in shape. He's built like a brick house as far as his physique. So, but I see Triple G decapitating this guy, man. I really do. I'm just being dead honest. But I can't wait for the fight. I'm going to watch it, man. I don't put a lot of stock into fighters and who I think they should fight. I've just really stopped doing that because to me, I just came to realize that it's going to be a lot of wasted energy and just I don't want to do that no more as a fan, man. These guys are going to fight who they want. Obviously there's fights that I want to see, but for whatever reason they're not happening. Whether guys need 18 months or guys think they deserve more money, whatever the case may be, you know what I mean. But I would like to see an undisputed champion at every weight division. So but he's going to fight Kell Brook, so I guess that's what we got, man. But I'm just making this vid, just get my opinion. We just need to put things in its proper context, man. We just can't look at whatever website you go to, whether it's BoxRec or whatever, look at it and then click off of it and say, oh, yep, that's the same. When you wasn't around in those times. It's just like when I look at history from the 60s or 70s, I wasn't around in those times. So I like to do more reading about how the boxing public was feeling about a fighter or a fight or a division. You know what I mean? Instead of just looking at what you read real quick, as far as just looking at the end results of fights and just say, oh, well, he fought this guy. Well, it must have been the same. That's not always true, man. It's not always true. And the B-Hop and Tito thing wasn't even that long ago. It don't seem that long ago to me, man, when I was watching that fight at that fight party. It don't even seem like that long ago to me. But it is, It is. But it's not the same to me. But if you think it's the same, hey, man, that's your prerogative. But to me, I know it's not the same. But I got GGG in this fight beating the hell out of Kell Brook, though. I really do. That's really all I got to say, man. I'm out.